We've had an interesting couple of weeks here in terms of the weather. I think over the last 10 days we've had something like 7 inches of rain, which is a lot for here. And the temperature's been pretty low as well. On one hand, that's good because all my lettuces and spinach and basically all the cold crops are doing fine. But it seems like it should be getting warmer in June. I'm sorry. Anyway, now I want to give you a quick update. These are the Egyptian walking onions here right in front of me, and I wanted to actually show you what happens, how they actually walk, because it's happening. Overall here, the onion and garlic bed seems to be doing okay. The hardneck garlics here definitely visibly larger than the soft necks over here. And then my onions in this end, they also seem to be doing fine. No complaints there. I have quite a bit of tiny little weeds here in this bed, which I'm going to be addressing probably this week. Fortunately, because the soil is pretty soft here, and nobody walks on it, it's not compacted, they're very easy to pull, and they come with their entire roots. So I have some weeding to do here in this bed. The parsley definitely bolting. I'm still picking leaves from it though. They still taste like parsley to me. No problem at all. In front of it though, the curly Italian parsley instead of the flat leaf doesn't seem to be bolting. In fact, doesn't seem to be doing anything really. But it has plenty of leaves. I have a feeling this is probably going to last us quite a bit, what we have here. And then when the flat leaf parsley bolts, produces seeds, I'm just going to reseed from that. So let me show you what the Egyptian walking onions look like from close. So as you can see here, the Egyptian walking onions produce these onion sets at the top. And this is not a flower, this is an actual set of tiny little onions. And what happens is, when this grows enough, it gets heavy. So this big guy basically falls on the ground and makes another bunch of onions. And you can see here, I'm going to raise one. You can see there are 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 little onion starts that will be producing more onions. So, and in fact, there's one in the end here that's going to produce even more. So basically that's how these things work. And let's see if I can show you this guy. You can see inside 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 little guys. So this is how this onion propagates, and look at the thickness of this thing. It's a little ridiculous, but they still, we still use them. I still snip leaves from them when I need scallions, and I've been pretty happy with them. It's probably so far definitely a winter crop for me. I'm very happy how they turned out. So as you can see here, the Egyptian walking onions produce these onion sets at the top. And this is not a flower, this is an actual set of tiny little onions. And what happens is, when this grows enough, it gets heavy. So this big guy basically falls on the ground and makes another bunch of onions. And you can see here, I'm going to raise one. You can see there are 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 little onion starts that will be producing more onions. So, and in fact, there's one in the end here that's going to produce even more. So basically that's how these things work. And let's see if I can show you this guy. You can see inside 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 little guys. So this is how this onion propagates, and look at the thickness of this thing. It's a little ridiculous, but they still, we still use them. I still snip leaves from them when I need scallions, and I've been pretty happy with them. It's probably so far definitely a winter crop for me. I'm very happy how they turned out. What I call pepper bed over here is kind of looking sad as far as peppers are concerned. I did end up buying a couple of peppers from Home Depot just a little bit more mature plants, because mine have not been doing well at all. And I actually have to weed this bed a little bit because it seems like it's full of grass. I'm not sure how this happened, but none of my other beds have it, but this guy is just totally overloaded with grass. So again, not really a big deal. This usually is a fairly easy thing to do, just kind of squeeze it and pull, and it comes up with the entire root system. So I definitely have some weeding to do. Over here, this is a single tomato that I've planted, and basically planted deep and kind of pushed the 4 suckers that it had, 4 runners, however you want to call them, to the side. And it's flowering like crazy, actually. I believe this is sungold that I planted in this corner, and it even has already a little tomatoes, so that's good. I'm not complaining. This is, I believe, a Cherokee purple, maybe, or probably, behind me, and that seems to be doing well. I have a few called crops here in this end. Kohlrabi actually seems to be forming as well, like a little round thingy at the bottom. And the funny thing is, I thought these things were weeds initially, and then dawned on me that I had marigolds here and I let them go to seed, and it's happening throughout my beds where I had the marigolds. These are actually marigolds. So yeah, I had been pulling them initially, and then I realized, oops, I should probably leave those. But it's fine. I mean, I have a couple plants, and they'll expand and become nice big plants with marigolds, so that's good. Some radishes, some turnips. I'm not sure if I'll get turnips, but radishes have been a big success for us this year. I think it's because of the weather. We've had such an extended, long, cold season. Well, cool season in the spring. So, yeah, pretty happy with radishes. The Roxanne radish, which is, I believe, AAA Select or AAA winner crop, has done great for us. Very nice flavor, and yeah, that's about it for radishes. I'll show you a little bit later in the cold crop bed what they look like. Behind me, in a row, are the cucumbers. They seem to be doing fine. Planted from seed, no problem so far. Over there in the back of the bed are the strawberries. They are doing their thing. They're producing runners, and which is fine because they're the good strawberries, nice big Delise variety, which is again a AAS winner, All American Select winner, whatever that is. I don't know if you can see, but between the 2 beds over here, let's see. I think you can see. There is a huge strawberry patch from just a few runners that I couldn't clean last year. They even have strawberries, tiny little red strawberries, but of course the chipmunks are enjoying them a lot. So I am leaving them really because I would rather the chipmunks eat these strawberries than eat all my other berries. So yeah, that's about the story over here. Over there I got a Millennium something or other cherry tomato that I never tried before. Sweet Million, yeah, that's what it is. Sweet Million. Never tried it before. We'll see how it turns out. And yeah, that's the pepper bed. Right across from the pepper bed is the tomato bed, and this green jungle over here are turnips and a couple of kohlrabis. Initially I was very happy about the way this is growing, but I think I know what's going on. I believe this bed has a little bit more nitrogen because of the way I fertilize my tomatoes. So yeah, a lot of leaves. I actually don't know if they'll form any turnips, although I do see some purple tops. These are purple top white turnips. I do see some purple tops sort of expanding underneath the base of the plant, so maybe we'll be lucky, we'll see. But yeah, this, compared to any other bed, this section here is the greenest as far as turnips are concerned. And these are by far the biggest that I have. Behind that, tomatoes doing great so far. Plenty of flowers on them. A lot of them have already been pollinated. Super happy with that. as usual. Can't wait to have some tomatoes. And I hinted, I believe last time, that the asparagus in the back, not so happy with those. I don't know. We'll see. I actually picked a single asparagus spear, and we cooked it for Alex. So that was good, but I think I'm actually gonna have to pull them next year unless they impress me next spring. If they don't, I'm coming out. And this is gonna become really the tomato bed because we love tomatoes, and I'm growing these tomatoes basically in half of this bed, and if I have the entire bed, that'll be awesome. I'm very happy with the raspberry and blackberry section of my berry bed. They seem to be doing great so far. A lot of flowers, a lot of fruit that's set, both on the blackberries and on the raspberries over there. And yeah, there is a lot of growth, as you can see right behind me, that big cane that's sticking out. That's one of those very straight, clean canes that I noticed several weeks ago. That kind of scared me. I thought it was a weed. But yeah, they're doing pretty well. Not as many flowers on the blackberries as on the raspberries, but it's all right. I'm fine with that. Still, I think we'll get some fruit, which is good news because we didn't last year. And on the other side, where the blueberries are, they're doing all right. So what happened was the blueberry, this guy and this guy, they had a lot of flowers, a lot of tiny little flower clusters, but now it doesn't seem like they all pollinated. Why that's the case, I don't know. It could be because of the net, it could be because of something else. I doubt it's the net, but you never know. But they still have fruit, so that's good. This guy over here, he seems to have, I guess, about a cup of blueberries on him. So, hey, it is what it is. And overall, the net has been holding together pretty nicely. I haven't seen anyone try to escape from being trapped inside. I've tried to keep it pretty taut everywhere, although it looks kind of flaky, especially around the corners to make sure that birds don't, get trapped inside. I also often see what are they? Woodworker bees or carpenter bees? Carpenter bees try and fly in and get to the T-posts, but they quickly realize that they don't want to be digging inside pressure-treated wood, so they leave. And they actually are interesting to watch. They kind of fly right in front of the net. They slowly try to fly out, and then they kind of back on, like just ram through it. Yeah, so far so good. The netting seems to be holding. I actually do have some onions growing here. I don't know if you can see them, because we had some extra onion sets left over from planting the onions, and I decided I'm just gonna, put them here in the ground, see what happens. It's a fairly acidic area over here by the blueberries, but they seem to be growing, so I'll take it. And right behind that, where my grapevine is, that's not doing so well. I think in the last month it's probably grown about this much, which I was expecting it to grow faster, being a vine-ish sort of plant. But it's growing, which is better than not growing, especially being over there in that corner. Pretty much doesn't get any sun until it makes it all the way up. It's going to be very sun deprived. So that's kind of the story with the berry bed. Let me show you the cold crops. Definitely the more exciting bed so far. We've been harvesting from it quite a bit. I have nice sized lettuces here that are still very tender because of the cold weather we've had. Plenty of radishes that we've picked, and every time I pick them, I drop another radish seed. So we've been having sort of a continuous harvest for quite a bit now. A lot of spinach, although the spinach is now bolting. A lot of spinach that we use for Alex for making purees for her with fresh spinach, which is great. I'm not so sure about the beets. They look nice, but The few that I've tried, that I've checked, they don't seem to have any beads formed underneath them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Quite a bit of volunteer carrots here in this area because I actually had a big carrot barrel here. I'm assuming some of the seeds probably from a rain or from a wind probably fell in. Fine with me. I even have some volunteer, I believe these are, ooh, yeah, they look like radishes, although something seems to be eating this like crazy. Like this leaf is pretty much gone. But that's fine. You can eat these, stay away from those. Radishes, a lot of lettuce as you can see, which we've been eating finally. It's a decent size, it's worth harvesting. A lot of spinach, and in the back we have the peas over there and the beans. Over here, peas, plenty of flowers, quite a bit of peas. I've been, eating them as snacks as I pass by them. Pretty tasty. And the beans so far, no flowers on them, but they're nicely growing up the trellis. Last year, we had a little bit more beans planted, and they had this trellis taken over in no time, with plenty of beans for us. Right next to my cold crops, I have a strawberry root pouch, and this was 2 plants that I put in here. They've sent plenty of runners and seem to be filling the root pouch nicely. This is the same strawberry that I have in the bed over there, the lees, which I'm growing from seed, and they're growing very nicely. I'm not expecting that I'll get any fruit from it this year, but hopefully this will fill up nicely, and then next year we'll have some harvest from this root pouch and hopefully from the garden area in the back. Over here next to me is a tomato. I have 2 of these, and I believe this is a 15 gallon and a 10 gallon root pouch. And I planted a whole bunch of radishes in it, these little guys, because the packet of seeds that I had gotten wet, and pretty much all the seeds inside started to sprout, so I figured I'll just plop them here and there and see what happens. If they die, they die. If I get some radishes, well, that's great too. I can always have them as green as well, and they're not really gonna affect the tomato at all because their roots are kind of tiny compared to a tomato root. Potatoes right behind me. Potatoes, I haven't had good luck with potatoes so far, but I don't know. They look alright to me. They looked alright to me last year as well. They have a tiny little holes on the leaves because I believe they're the tiniest of black flies or beetles. I don't even know what they are. No infestation to speak of, but they're definitely here, and the leaves are not perfect, but that's fine. I don't think it's harming them at all. They seem to be growing just fine. And on this side of me, actually let me turn the camera a little bit so you can see better. These are my cherries in my kind of DIY netting thing. Cherries doing great. The early burlap we've picked for maybe about a half a dozen cherries from it. That's all it had this year, and they were delicious. The rest of the cherries on these plants, they have a lot more, and it's kind of exciting because we definitely like cherries, and some of them are dropping. They're not all making it. I don't know. I don't think any birds are getting to them because it's kind of hard to get inside from here and leave, but definitely some of the cherries are dropping. Nothing we can do about that. But overall pretty happy. The netting seems to be working. As I said, we've harvested a bunch of cherries. I'm gonna have to figure out something better next year for them, or hopefully they get big enough so that the birds can eat everything. We'll see. For this year, this seems to be working, and it's good. I'm very happy with the way these cherries are producing. Even in these small root pouches. Well, small, they're 20-gallon root pouches, but yeah, they seem to be doing well. And that's it as far as the backyard garden is concerned. Nothing really that much interesting happening in the front. The berries seem to be doing okay, the kiwi berries that is. They're definitely stunted, but some of them are starting to climb up the little bamboo sticks that I put in. The blueberries that are in front of the house, the ones on the right of the steps, they have produced a bunch of blueberries for us. We've had some, they're very tasty. The ones on the left are flowering, not flowering, but leafing out nicely, which is a good sign, means that they're in good shape. So yeah, pretty happy with the way the front is turning out as far as the berries are concerned. And actually, I just noticed something. Let me show you. So one of the main reasons that I am thinking of getting rid of the asparagus is because they're mostly like this. They're this big. I don't know if you can see it, but this is like a wooden skewer thickness. Basically, no meat in it, and all of them are growing like that. All of them are super spindly. I just noticed this guy. And this guy is, it sounds like they heard me threaten to pull them out, and now this guy came up. So, it sounds like there might be a chance for those asparagus. Yeah, we'll see. If next year I see a few of these, of this thickness, then that's a good sign. But, and I'm gonna give them a fair chance. I'm gonna, water them. I'm gonna give them some fertilizer. But if next year I don't see a major improvement in what they're producing, as in anything, then they're coming up, and plant some tomatoes. So thanks for joining, and I will see you next time.